you are a high earner, you probably run into this. You simply make too much money to contribute directly to a Roth IRA. But the good news is there are still ways to get money into a Roth, and we're going to walk through them now. So first, the basics. There are two main pathways to get money into a Roth, which are contributions and conversions. So let's start with contributions. A contribution just means you're putting new money earned from your job into an account like a Roth IRA. It's not money moving from one account to another. It's money you save and invest from your paycheck or bank account and directly deposit into a Roth. However, the IRS sets income limits on whether you're allowed to do that. And that's where things get tricky for high earners. Once your income crosses certain thresholds, you get phased out and eventually disqualified. We'll look at the 2025 numbers in a second, but the key is many high earners can't contribute directly. The second way to get money into a Roth. A conversion simply means taking money you already saved, usually in a pre-tax traditional IRA, and you move it into a Roth IRA. When you do that, you're telling the IRS, I'd rather pay the taxes now so I can enjoy tax-free growth later. The trade-off? Every dollar you convert counts as taxable income in that year. So while conversions are a great tool for flexibility, they're not always ideal when you're in that high tax bracket. If, say, you're in the 32 or 37% tax bracket, that can get expensive really fast. So instead of going that route, let's talk about some smarter options, which are the Backdoor Roths and Mega Backdoor Roths. Let's begin now by taking a look at where income phaseouts hit for Roth IRA contributions in 2025. So here's the phaseout table. Up top shows the maximum you can contribute if you are not phased out, which is a total annual contribution of $7,000 per person, $14,000 per household, with a catch-up if you're age 50 plus of $1,000 additional dollars. Next are the actual phaseouts. You can see if you're married filing jointly, and your household income is over $246,000, you're officially phased out of making direct Roth contributions. And it gets even worse for high earners. You also can't deduct traditional IRA contributions if you or your spouse are covered by a workplace plan. But here's the good news. You can still contribute to a traditional IRA. You just don't get a deduction on your taxes. So how does that help us? Because each of you can still put $7,000 into a traditional IRA with after-tax dollars. That's $14,000 as a household. Now here's where the strategy kicks in. Enter Backdoor Roths. Step 1, contribute $7,000 of after-tax dollars into a traditional IRA. And if you're married, your spouse can do the same. So that's $14,000 total. Step 2, you convert that money into a Roth IRA. Since the money was already taxed going in, the conversion should be tax-free, as long as you don't have any other tax-deferred money in that IRA already. The benefit? You've added to your Roth bucket, even though your income was too high to do it directly, and that money and all future growth is now in a Roth, growing tax-free, and can be pulled out tax-free with considerations. It's a clean, efficient way for high earners to still fund a Roth, even if the IRS phases you out. It just takes a couple extra steps. But before you rush out and do this, there's one big thing we have to watch out for. That's the Pro-rata Rule. Let's break that down next. This is the part that tends to trip people up. So what is the Pro-rata Rule? The IRS doesn't care if your new $7,000 contribution was after tax, because they look at all of your traditional IRA accounts as one giant bucket, and they calculate your taxes proportionally. Let's walk through an example with some numbers. Say you are going to make an after-tax contribution this year, and you make that into an existing traditional IRA. You have $100,000 in this IRA, which is comprised of 100% pre-tax dollars. Then you go make that new $7,000 after-tax contribution as part of this backdoor strategy. But remember that the IRS treats it all as one bucket. So the new IRA total is $107,000, of which 6.5 is after-tax dollars and 93.5% is tax-deferred dollars. So when you complete your Backdoor Roth IRA and convert that $7,000, the IRS carries forward the splits and considers 6.5% of that $7,000 to be after tax and 93.5% to be pre-tax. Translation? Only $455 of your $7,000 conversion is tax-free. The other $6,545 gets added to your ordinary income. And if you're in a high tax bracket, that kind of defeats the entire purpose of doing that. That's the pro-rata trap. But don't worry, there's a smart workaround. Let's go there next. So how do we have this pro-rata trap? It's actually pretty simple. We clean up your traditional IRA, and here's how we do it. If you got pre-tax dollars sitting in a traditional IRA, we can roll that money into your employer's 401k as long as the plan accepts rollovers. Let's continue the example from the prior slide and say you move $100,000 over to your employer's 401k before contributing this year. Like magic, your traditional IRA is now empty. Then you move on to step 2, where you do the Backdoor Roth strategy using that clean IRA. No pre-tax dollars in an IRA means no pro-rata problem. You can then contribute after-tax dollars, convert it to a Roth, and it's all tax-free. Clean, simple, and effective. A quick heads up though, 401k plans may have fewer investment options and higher fees than IRAs. So make sure to weigh the pros and cons before. But if your goal is to keep doing clean backdoor Roths every year, this is a powerful move. Now let's talk the next option, which is Mega Backdoor Roths. This can be an absolute game changer if your 401k plan allows it. In fact, it's one of the most powerful Roth strategies out there for high earners. Step 1 is you max out your standard 401k contribution. In 2025, that's $23,500. You can do this with pre-tax dollars or Roth dollars. Either is fine. Step 2, now we go beyond that. The IRS actually lets you contribute up to $70,000 total in your 401k for the year. That includes your tax-deferred contributions, which is capped at $23,500, your employer match, and any after-tax contributions. So let's say there's no employer match. You max out tax-deferred contributions and put in $23,500 as a pre-tax or Roth contribution. Then you add another $46,500 of after-tax dollars into your 401k, which gives you $70,000 total that's permitted by the IRS. But here's the catch. That $46,500 cannot go into the Roth 401k directly. It has to go into the after-tax bucket inside of the 401k, which brings us to step 3, which is the magic. You immediately convert that $46,500 of after-tax contributions into a Roth. This can be done via a Roth IRA rollover or an in-plan Roth conversion, depending on what your plan allows. The result? You've now funneled $46,500 into a Roth environment, which means all future growth and distributions with some considerations are now tax-free. Quick note, not all 401k plans support this. It's called an in-service distribution or a Roth conversion feature, so you'll need to check if your plan offers it. But if it does, you've just unlocked one of the most underutilized wealth building tools available to high earners. If you're in tech, earning well, and saving aggressively, it's frustrating to be told you make too much for a Roth IRA. But that's just the surface. The truth is, when you understand how contributions, conversions, and smart plan design work together, you unlock new doors. Backdoor Roths, Mega Backdoors, Pro-rata cleanups, all strategic moves designed to grow your wealth tax-free on your terms. If you're unsure whether your plan allows for Mega Backdoors, or if you're sitting on traditional IRAs with pro-rata problems, let's fix it now before another tax year slips by. Click the link below and let's build your Roth roadmap and make sure you're climbing the right side of the mountain.